Have you ever felt like you are running on a treadmill? You work so hard every single day. You put in the hours, you solve the problems, and you meet the deadlines. Yet at the end of the week, you feel like you are right back where you started. The to-do list is just as long. The same problems seem to pop up again and again. It feels like you are carrying a heavy bucket of water back and forth from a river to your village. Each trip brings a little relief, but the need for water never ends. This is the reality for so many of us. We are caught in a cycle of effort that only solves today's problems, leaving us no energy for tomorrow. This constant hustle is what I call bucket carrying. It is the act of doing manual, repetitive tasks over and over again. It is the short-term fix, the quick patch, the immediate solution that gets you through the day. You might be answering the same customer questions repeatedly. You might be manually entering data into spreadsheets every single morning. You might be fixing the same technical glitch on your website week after week. Each action feels productive at the moment. You are doing something, you are busy, and you are solving a problem. But this busyness is a trap. It keeps you focused on the immediate, preventing you from ever looking up and seeing the bigger picture. Why do we get stuck carrying these buckets? It often happens without us even realizing it. We start with a simple task. It needs to get done, so we just do it. Then it needs to be done again and again. Soon it becomes part of our routine. We're so busy putting out fires that we don't have a single moment to think about fire prevention. We believe that hard work is the key to success. We think that the more hours we put in, the more we will achieve. This mindset keeps us chained to the bucket. We value the feeling of being busy more than the outcome of being effective. We become experts at carrying the bucket, but we never stop to ask if there's a better way. The problem with this approach is that it is not sustainable. Your energy is finite. Your time is limited. What happens when you get sick? What happens when you want to take a vacation? What happens when your business or your responsibilities grow? The bucket gets heavier and the trips to the river become more frequent. You have to work harder and harder just to maintain the same level of output. This leads to burnout, stress, and the feeling that you are constantly falling behind. Carrying buckets is a survival tactic, not a growth strategy. It keeps you stuck in a loop of reactive work, where you are always responding to urgent needs instead of building for a stable future. Now, I want you to imagine something different. Imagine that instead of spending all your days carrying that heavy bucket, you decided to build something. You decided to build a pipeline. A gleaming pipeline bringing water from the river to your village automatically. It might take time and effort to build it at first. You might have to work harder for a little while, carrying your bucket during the day, working on the pipeline in the evenings. But once that pipeline is built, the water flows continuously. You no longer have to make those exhausting trips. The system does the work for you, freeing you to focus on other, more important things. This is the core promise. Shift your focus from carrying buckets to building pipelines. Move away from endless repetitive tasks toward creating systems that work for you. A pipeline can be a process. A pipeline can be a tool. A pipeline can be a workflow. It could be an email template that answers a common question. It could be a software that automatically syncs your data. It could be a checklist that guides your team through a complex project. These systems are investments. You put in the work once, and they deliver results for you over and over again. This is how you stop working harder and start working smarter. Building systems is not about being lazy. It's about being strategic. Your most valuable asset is not your ability to do a task, but your ability to think and create. When you're stuck carrying buckets, you burn energy on manual labor. When you build a pipeline, you spend energy on innovation and growth. You move from reactive to proactive. Instead of constantly putting out fires, you build systems that prevent them. This is the path to freedom and scalability. The only way to break the cycle of stress and exhaustion. The journey from bucket carrier to pipeline builder is a mindset change. Value long-term solutions over short-term fixes. Invest time in things that pay you back in the future, not just get you through today. We'll explore exactly how to do that. Practical steps to identify your buckets and start building your pipelines. Build systems that last. Free yourself from the daily grind. Focus on growth, innovation, and a life defined by success, not stress. Put down the bucket and pick up the blueprint. To build your pipeline, you must first see beyond the immediate demands of the day. Many of us are trapped by the tyranny of the urgent, consumed by tasks that feel pressing but are not truly important in the long run. This constant state of reaction is an illusion. It keeps you busy but not effective, ensuring you spend all your time on today's problems with no thought for tomorrow. A bucket carrier focuses on the next immediate problem. A pipeline builder, on the other hand, looks at the final destination and plots a course. This requires a deliberate mental shift. Ask yourself throughout the day, will this task matter in a year? Answering this helps you distinguish between the urgent and the important. Building a better testing process to prevent bugs will matter. These are the pipeline building activities that drive long-term success. Once you commit to thinking long-term, the next step is to move from a reactive state to a proactive one. Proactive work is the domain of the pipeline builder. You anticipate future needs and set your own agenda. A great tool for this is the Eisenhower matrix, which helps you sort tasks into 4 quadrants. Bucket carriers live in the urgent and important quadrant. The secret to building pipelines lies in the important but not urgent quadrant. This is where strategic planning and building systems happens. By scheduling time for these activities, you have fewer crises to manage, because you have proactively built systems to prevent them. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and start becoming the architect of your success. This is how you stop letting the day run you, and instead you start running your day. Every time you solve the same problem more than once, you are firefighting. You are carrying a bucket of water to douse the flames, knowing full well that another fire is likely to start in the exact same spot tomorrow. This reactive cycle keeps you trapped. The key to escaping is to shift your mindset from firefighting to fire prevention. Instead of becoming an expert at putting out fires, you must become an expert at understanding why the fires are starting in the first place. This means looking beyond the symptom to find the root cause. A customer complaint isn't just a single problem to be solved. It's a clue that a part of your process might be broken. To start this shift, you can use a simple technique called the Rule of 3. If you find yourself doing the same unplanned reactive task 3 times, you must stop and build a system to prevent it from happening a 4th time. Did you have to manually correct the same data entry error 3 times this month? It is time to create a data validation rule or a checklist for the entry process. Did you have to answer the same question from 3 different clients? It is time to write a template for your response, or even better, add that information to your website's FAQ page. This rule forces you to pause your reactive work and invest in a proactive solution. This process of fire prevention is about creating simple, repeatable processes. These are your initial pipeline components. Think about creating checklists for complex tasks to ensure no steps are missed. Develop templates for common emails, reports, documents. Create a shared document where your team can log recurring problems and brainstorm permanent solutions together. These are not massive, complex systems. They are small, incremental improvements that collectively have a huge impact. They are the fire codes, the smoke detectors, and the sprinkler systems that keep your work environment safe, calm, and predictable. Embracing fire prevention means you start to see problems not as annoyances, but as opportunities. Each recurring issue is a chance to improve, to streamline, and to build a more resilient pipeline. This changes your entire perspective. You stop dreading problems and start seeing them as valuable feedback. This mindset is what separates the perpetually stressed bucket carrier from the calm and confident pipeline builder. You are no longer just surviving the day. you are actively designing a better future for yourself and your team. You are not just solving today's problem, you are building a system that solves it forever. Ultimately, the shift from carrying buckets to building pipelines is an internal one. It is about adopting a long-term mindset in everything you do. This means valuing progress over perfection. Your first pipeline will not be flawless. Your first system might be a simple checklist on a piece of paper. That is okay. The goal is not to build the perfect, all-encompassing system overnight. The goal is to make one small, incremental improvement today that will make tomorrow easier. A long-term mindset understands that small, consistent investments over time lead to massive returns. It is the principle of compound interest applied to your productivity and your peace of mind. This mindset also requires patience and trust in the process. Building a pipeline takes time. In the beginning, it can feel like you are doing double the work. You are still carrying your daily buckets while also trying to find the time and energy to dig the trench for your pipeline. This is the hardest part of the journey, and it is where most people give up. They don't see immediate results, so they conclude it's not working and go back to the familiar, exhausting rhythm of bucket carrying. You must have the foresight to see the future reward and the discipline to keep building, even when the benefits are not yet visible. To cultivate this mindset, celebrate the small wins. Did you create a template that saved you 10 minutes? Acknowledge that victory. Did you automate a small data transfer task? That is a huge step forward. These small successes build momentum and reinforce the value of your new approach. They provide the encouragement you need to keep going when you feel tired or discouraged. Track the time you save. Show your team how a new process has reduced errors. Making the benefits tangible helps you and everyone around you stay committed to the long-term vision. It proves that the initial effort is paying off in real, measurable ways. Adopting a long-term mindset is about playing the long game. It is about choosing to be the tortoise, not the hare. The hare sprints from one urgent task to the next, eventually burning out. The tortoise moves slowly but steadily, building systems and processes along the way, and ultimately wins the race. This is your choice. You can continue the frantic, short-term sprint of bucket carrying, or you can begin the steady, strategic work of pipeline building. It is a commitment to your future self. It is a promise that you will invest in creating a work life that is sustainable, scalable, free from constant stress of the daily grind. For many of us, work is about effort. The more hours we log, the more we believe we've accomplished. This is the bucket carrier's creed. But what if we're confusing motion with progress? Imagine moving a pile of rocks. One person carries them by hand, valuing effort. The other spends an hour building a wheelbarrow, valuing efficiency. By day's end, the wheelbarrow builder has moved the entire pile with energy to spare. This is the first principle of building a pipeline. Focus on efficiency, not just effort. Stop being the rock carrier and start becoming the wheelbarrow builder. Audit your daily tasks. Are you manually copying information? Rewriting the same emails? These are your opportunities to trade wasted effort for intelligent systems. This redefines your value. You're no longer just a doer. You are a designer, an architect of processes. Building a system isn't intimidating. It's simply a defined, repeatable recipe for a desired outcome. You can start with 3 simple tools: checklists, templates, and workflows. Checklists externalize memory, ensuring no step is forgotten, which reduces mental strain and improves consistency. Templates let you do the hard work once for any communication you produce regularly. From then on, you just fill in the details. And workflows connect your checklists and templates into a cohesive process, outlining how work moves from start to finish. These simple systems are the sturdy pipes and valves that form the foundation of your automated future. Section 3. Automation and lasting systems. Once you've documented your processes, you'll see many steps are purely mechanical, prime candidates for automation. Automation uses technology to perform tasks that would otherwise require human intervention. It's the engine that pumps water through your pipeline, freeing you from tedious work. You can start small with tools you already use, like creating email rules to automatically sort messages. The next level uses tools like Zapier or IFTTT, which act as bridges between your apps on a simple, when this happens, do that principle. For example, when a customer fills out a form, an automation can create a project card and notify your team, all without you lifting a finger. But in the quest for efficiency, it's tempting to opt for a quick fix instead of building a proper system. A shortcut solves the problem for today. A system solves the problem forever. Shortcuts are temporary and fragile, creating single points of failure tied to one person's memory. A true system, like a documented process in a shared knowledge base, is robust and available to anyone, anytime. Building a system requires a small, upfront time investment, but it pays dividends forever. Resist the allure of the quick fix. Build on solid rock, not shifting sand. That's the only way to create a business or career built to last.